Is that a sighting of Nekroz tech choices? Yes, it is. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. You know, I was really excited to see this regional breakdown because we had Voiceless Voice innovations sporting off Nekroz cards, and I'll be honest with you, it's not a lot this format that we have seen. You know, I would say like real pushes with Voiceless Voice outside of the debate of do we play Saravis as 2 or do we play the Odd Eyes in the deck as, you know, the one of it's I guess that's like the real chance to explore out here. And also, this is one of the first regionals I've seen that there's no Snake Eyes, there's no Fire King in the top cut for this. It's genuinely really nice just to see that, you know, the meta has kind of given a little bit of a push here to kind of showcase out some of that stuff. Now, we have your most represented deck was 3 Floowandereeze. Now, how in the world did Flounder come to be the bird suppressing the meta? Well, Flounder, we've talked about that it has good, decent matchups in some of these matchups, and I'm kind of happy to see that Flounder actually did well. It's actually kind of refreshing to actually see that. We also had 2 branded decks in your top cut, so you've got a little bit of a little shift around here, at least in regards to that. You also had a Labyrinth deck coming in very, very cleanly in top cut. I'm actually extremely happy to see that. And then we have our Voiceless build sporting off a little bit of the Nekroz package in the deck. And like I said, it's kind of cool just to see, you know, the little innovations that players are trying out here to make these decks seem a little bit more interesting. Let's pass on over to decklist. Winning our event here is actually Labyrinth with our, I mean, we even call this an Unchained package anymore. I guess it is, because you're just taking in the 1 Shavara with the 1 Escape here, just so you can kind of go ahead and do little extension plays for this, which is genuinely, like, good. Soul Lord Yama just being this little free 2-card inclusion that you build into the deck is kind of free, actually. And it's definitely, when you're looking at doing deck builds and considering things to do for Labyrinth, I do think that just splashing in this little package just gives you some little free extension stuff for you to go ahead and do your thing. Now, build is doing triple copies of the transaction rollback. I don't know why, if you're trying to play this deck, that you're not exploring the options of being able to play this, but this is the stuff that actually makes this deck do very, very strongly. And of course, hello, big welcome Labyrinths as a 3 of. We're actually only playing 1 welcome Labyrinth. You know, it's pretty funny actually how the times have changed. You know, welcome is just not the great value that it used to be. It's all about the big welcome here. And of course, you have this triple super poly to, you know, handle any of your 4 super poly targets. It really just depends on what you think you're going to need here. I also see that this build is actually opting for triple crossout designator right now. Being able to, you know, obviously stop a key hand trap. Interestingly enough, maybe Veiler might be a little bit of an annoyance. I mean, they're playing it as a 1 of in the main. I mean, if this card's purpose is to inconvenience your opponent to possibly end on 1 less thing on the board, I kind of think it's worth it to, you know, play it. It's also, maybe we can cross it if we need to. And we are also citing the Labyrinth as well. Yeah, realistically, to see that this deck did come out on top, I do think is a good thing. It's just, you got to remember, you're playing Labyrinth right now, and it's not exactly the greatest innovation tool in the world, but it's got its options. We have a Floowandereeze list for you today. Sporting off triple copies of the Swallow's Cowrie. Now remember, so that you tribute a Wing Beast monster on the hand or face up in the field to add a Wing Beast monster from your deck to your hand with the same level as the tributed monster. You can only activate 1 of these per turn. Same level, by the way. I mean, let's call it what it is. I mean, you have a lot of level 1s. I do think that this was a very good tech choice. It just took a little while for Floowandereeze to kind of look at this card and go, hey, you know, like, we can play this, you know, like, we can open up and try the fact that, you know, having an extra little dodge along the way. Most of the builds are still doing the same thing. I mean, I've seen some builds that are trying double end pen, but I think you want to have 3. 3 seems to be about the level of things that you want to pressure on your opponent, and the card's just honestly that good. Hello, Rivalry of the Warlords. Okay, so this is pretty good, and for those of you that are looking at this side deck, yes, that is triple Ultimate Slayer in here. We've kind of reached the point right now that Ultimate Slayer being able to dump literally anything down here in your extra deck, like, you have so many utility options available to you. It's actually kind of crazy. And, you know, if you do need to do the link dump, I mean, you also have the Kishi Sakill in the side deck as well for you to be able to board in and manipulate. I see that we're not even teching a Featherstorm in the main. It's just push all the Featherstorms into the side and then access it if you kind of need. I think that's fine, honestly. Like, Featherstorm is an incredibly good card still. We've seen a lot of the builds opt to play it, but, like, just making sure that your cards can resolve, especially with the Cowrie here, is pretty solid. Outside of that, I don't have anything else to really say. It's good to see Flunder Innovations, though. So this is what I was talking about here. This is your Nekroz tech lineup in this Voiceless Voice deck. You have, obviously, the Searcher or the Target 2, shuffle them back. This is the discard search spell or make a monster from the extra deck 0, negate its attack. And then this is the global, everything in the extra deck is actually negated. I will say probably having a Nekroz of Unicorn face up on the field next to, you know, Skull Guardian can probably put you in a pretty good position, honestly. You're also playing good old Kaleido here, and Kaleido being able to drop down Herald to deploy this, I think does up this deck's consistency a little bit. You might not have realized this, but, like, being able to have access to this little package here actually does make a little bit of a difference in deck building. Also kind of funny to actually see we are playing the cycle in here, but that's fine. I mean, you're playing a 5-card Nekroz splash package just because this card is insanely good. Now, for most of the rest of the Voiceless Voice package, I mean, it's pretty standard. You are doing the double Sarvis. Sorry, Odd Eyes, Pendulum Enjoyers. Maybe someday we'll get the chance to go back to that. Only 2 Pot of Prosperity, but to be fair, they just probably don't want to deal with the dead draw that the other one can actually lead into, and that's understandable. We've definitely seen our fair share of consistency choices along the way in this format to kind of, you know, give players the shift around for things that they need. Triple Belt, and I'm actually kind of happy to see Ghost Ogre actually seeing just a little bit of play. Ogre, it's not been a huge splash in the meta, but it's been a little bit refreshing to actually see Ogre, you know, kind of doing its thing out here. Outside of that, I mean, pretty standard in my opinion. Next up here, we have some branded innovations for you here, and I do see, straight off the bat, we are playing the triple copies of the Droplet, which is pretty strong. I see that we were actually opting for triple thrust in here as well. I mean, 48 cards, nothing really too crazy to laugh at. 45, I feel like. 45 to 47 has been more the average. Sending out to, you know, play like the Fusion Duplication. You have the triple Albion in here anyway to get, you know, some spot dumping options along the way that you might actually need. And we are doing the branded and high spirits play as well. So you've genuinely got a lot of your packages covered. I also see that we are doing Edge Imp chain plays with the old polymerization. That also means, hello Panzer Dragon. Machine plus a drag. I guess that's a specific super poly target that they were probably expecting to need somewhere along the way. But that's actually kind of cool, you know. Panzer, it's definitely had its better times out here to be a super poly target, but not too bad. Outside of that, you have some pretty steady choices in this. I'm happy to see Magnum the Reliever actually getting a place in this as well. So, as for this regional breakdown, I will say, you know, you have a lot of the same standardized choices that players are making. But within, you know, the scope of the meta, you know, to see no Snake Eyes, no Fire King, in a top 8 at an event. I think that's pretty, especially from Germany, who's like very, very, very heavy on meta. Leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. Let's see your beautiful faces back here in the day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.